So Amanda, first of all then, so we can check our levels,
Yep.
if you talk to me, ignore the camera, tell me your name and what you do at Clay College.
Okay, my name's Amanda Payne, and I'm training to be a potter at Clay College.
Fantastic. Okay, so first of all then Amanda, can you tell me a little bit about, really, I know you're not necessarily a representative of Clay College, but what is Clay College?
So Clay College was set up by Lisa Hammond, who's a very well-renowned potter. She's based in London. And Lisa started a scheme called Adopt a Potter, where she was helping place new potters with established potters to help train them and pass on the skills, and also to assist those potters to do a kind of traditional apprenticeship, really. What Lisa found, though, was that the skills coming through from their training at the universities wasn't quite equipping them to be of use to the potters, but also to get the benefit of being with those potters. So Lisa decided to set up Clay College to pass on all the skills from many of these potters, which are actually coming up to retirement age now, to make sure that these skills do continue into the future, and to make sure that new and upcoming potters are equipped to carry on to their best ability and set up a studio of their own eventually.
Fantastic. So can you tell me, how are you involved then? What are you actually doing at Clay College at the moment?
So I'm coming towards the end of a 2-year training with Kevin Millwood, who is our main tutor. And then we have visiting potters from around the world, master potters, who come in and show us techniques and pass on skills of the current phase that we're learning. So we've learnt earthenware, stoneware, we've learnt to make large pots, and they come in and give us a training. So we've gone through the whole cycle now almost. We've built wood kilns, we've built soda kilns, we're firing gas kilns, we're firing electric kilns. We've learnt about glazing, and this last piece is where we are really developing our own range and working on the products that we're going to sell when we finish and graduate from Clay College.
So when you graduate college, what are you hoping to do yourself?
So I'm planning to set up my own studio. I'm very influenced by nature and texture, combined with strong silhouetted form. So I think the kind of things that really give me inspiration are the beautiful leaves and flowers and strange mosses and things that are growing in the Cornish landscape. So I think I shall set up my studio in Cornwall to be around those influences, and then reflect that in the work that I'm making.
And when you make your pottery, do you consider that you're creating something that is beautiful, that is a beautiful design, and something that is intrinsically beautiful?
Yeah, absolutely. My background is more art and design related than necessarily functional domestic wear. And the things that inspire me are the majestic vases from Korea, the Joseon period from China, and actually those are reflected through into local ceramics from Wedgwood here in Stoke, and through all those shapes and designs and forms. It's the beauty of the lines that they have, the way they're finished, and for me, I can spend a very long time just looking at the shape of something I'm making. So absolutely.
And what's it like? It's not something I've done before, but to actually be involved with working with clay and to create something, what's that like?
It's a challenge actually. Clay is a very versatile material, but it's also a very challenging material, and that's why I've come to Clay College, because to realise the vision that I have, there's a whole base of skills behind that it takes time to build those skills. The real annoyance when you first start ceramics is that you can't produce what's the vision that you have in your head. And I think the amazing quality of clay and the fabulousness of clay really is that it's such a direct relationship between the maker and the material. You have to work with the clay. You have to set it up properly to create the form you want. You have to understand that material in order to get the rewards that you're hoping to achieve from it. So it's a constant challenge, clay.
Now, it's no coincidence that, well, it might be a coincidence, that Clay College is in Stoke-on-Trent, kind of the UK capital of ceramics. Why is Stoke-on-Trent significant for you as a ceramicist?
For me, it's the influence of the quality and some of the elegance of the forms that have been in those traditional potteries. I mean, Wedgwood is a classic, everybody knows about Wedgwood, but the decoration is something which I wouldn't be aiming for, but there's a definite proportion and symmetry and beauty in those forms, and that really comes through. And then there's also the appreciation and the understanding of the skills that the people that work in the factories around us actually are. It's a heritage, but it's also something that we don't see very often in many careers now. I came from a digital background, so this is a complete change for me. But visiting some of the old potteries and seeing the ladies demonstrate the flower making and some of those painting skills and gilding and things like that, it's remarkable actually. And the level of pride that they have in what they do is a beautiful thing, I think.
That's a fantastic answer, thank you. And you mentioned then the women that you've seen, and so you're a woman yourself, and our film is about the influence of women in ceramics in Stoke-on-Trent. For you, what kind of a role do you feel that women have played in the development of the ceramic industry, from what you've kind of learned and what you've witnessed?
It's a double-edged answer really, because the role the women have played is fundamental. They are the people that are developing those skills and applying those techniques. But at the same time, they're not really the people that are directing what's happening with the end product. And so for me, it's unquestionable the value they've added. But I think that they maybe still weren't given the ability to reach the full potential that they could have reached in those fields. But absolutely fundamental to the ceramics industry.
And what do you feel, kind of looking ahead? Obviously you are, whether you like it or not, a part of the future of ceramics. What do you think kind of the future of the ceramics industry is, and how are you going to be playing a part of it, do you think?
Yeah. Okay, so I think there are a couple of things which are affecting the direction and the growth of the ceramics industry nowadays. Firstly, I probably should say that I think as a studio potter, we are slightly removed from the ceramics industry. But that also leads into the answer, really, because in today's society, there's a lot more consciousness developing about what people are buying. The age of consumerism has reached a massive influx, and everything's become cheap and disposable. And there's now a growth in people being more conscious about what they're purchasing and trying to have fewer, nicer things, which actually have an emotional attachment. They've been chosen, and those pieces are probably going to stay with them. They've got a longevity to them, an emotional connection and longevity, which is a really nice thing to be coming up, coupled with the recent, for the first time I think, real mass interest in reducing plastics. And then therefore there's more of a desire to actually buy products that are going to last longer and throughout their life. So I think there's a real special role for ceramics in that area. In terms of the industry as a general, obviously with technology growing, there's all sorts of ceramic components that are used for technology, and everybody knows that. But we do have to...
Let me scratch my leg, sorry. I'm getting on now. we'll pick up the ceramics industry because that was a really nice answer, and I do apologise for having to stretch my legs.
No, that's okay.
So Amanda, speaking about the ceramics industry then, you were mentioning then about how there's a kind of a wider role for the use of ceramics within industry, full stop.
Yeah, as technology grows, there's actually many components that are using ceramics within them, and also, I mean, everybody is aware of dentistry and some of the breakthroughs with ceramics in dentistry. So it's not just a part of the past; it's a part of the future and the technical growth. The only downside with the ceramics industry for me is I think there is still the counter side of mass production and mass consumerism, which, although people are turning more to artisan products now, there's not a great deal of people that can afford to make those kind of purchases, and people are still very concerned with paying the absolute minimum for everything nowadays. So that still drives the consumerist market, which is mass produced and disposable. So you could still argue that's still a role for ceramics.
And finally, so how do you see your future involved then? I mean, are you kind of proud to be a part of this future, and are you kind of optimistic about how you can be involved in the future of ceramics? And as a, do you mind me saying studio potter?
Yeah.
As a kind of studio potter, how are you kind of looking at being involved, and are you proud to be part of that?
Yeah, I'm very proud. I still feel I'm still learning. Once I graduate, I'll still be learning. I think people spend their whole lifetime learning ceramics. But I think that's also part of our role, having been trained at Clay College. We're very pro actually sharing what we've learned. So I would hope that as my business grows, I will get to a point where I can also pass on the skills that I've learned. And so it's a continuous cycle, which we are, by the nature of our college, part of. So
that was a fantastic answer. Thank you very much for that.